Wow. That was that was intense to watch. I don't I don't really know where to begin with this game. Like, where do you start? There was so much bad and so much good in that game. It's just, it's like we win, we get 2 points, but we also give up a late goal in the third after having the lead. We failed to defend the lead twice, but we won a competitive game against a hardworking team. Uh, I mean, like this game, like I should be angry right now, but just based on the things I've said, but I can't really be because we ended up beating Columbus, and I've really grown to have a slight disdain for the Columbus Blue Jackets. So the fact that we beat them doesn't really, like, I can't really be livid. Like, to me, this is like a highlight of like both the good and the bad of the Carolina Hurricanes in general, but also given the controversy with Tim Peel. I think it's what better time with all the stress the referees put on to insult the refs for a bit, or the way the NHL governs things. Now, the elbowing that Fogel gave to Nick Foligno should have been a 5 minute major based on the rules of the NHL. I actually saw Columbus Blue Jackets fans tweeting him out, and someone pinpointed the exact rule when they're saying that should have been a five in a game. And that is where it says if there's an elbowing that directly leads to an injury, that's a 5 minute major. Now, so according to the NHL rules, and this is a bad job by the referees, I'm going to say this bad job by the referees to not call that a 5 minute major. And the officiating for the past 3 years now in the NHL have just been awful. I'm not going to say that it's rigged against anybody. It's not. It's just bad officiating. And when the officiating is especially bad, it's everybody's going to feel like they're getting screwed. I've had how many people come to me and say, oh, hey, we got screwed over by the call. Not to mention the fact you don't get screwed over by the call. You got to play through bad officiating. That's the way hockey is, okay? And I had to play through bad officiating when I played hockey. The NHLers have had to play countless games through bad officiating. You just got to play through bad officiating. So I'm never going to say we got rigged over bad officiating. For example, the 5-on-3, when they challenged the play, you know what? And even then, they got it right with the offside review, although the NHL should make it a review to where they call the penalty from the last time Carolina got a goal in overtime. So wanted to address that. But I will say the fact that the NHL has the rule where if there's an automatic injury on the play, it's an automatic suspension, I think is stupid. Here's why. Because, like, a dirty play to me is a dirty play whether or not a player gets injured. If there's, like, for me, I'll go back to this. The Tom Wilson hit. Tom Wilson's hit that put Carlo in the hospital. If Carlo had been fine, that's still, to me, a 5 game suspension for Tom Wilson. I honestly think the suspension, for example, on Nick Foligno for hit from behind, that should have been a major penalty. I don't think Foligno should have got ejected or suspended, but that should have been a 5 minute major for boarding because they don't directly have hit from behind. His hit on Pesci, I'm talking about from last game. Okay, that to me should have been a 5 minute major for boarding because he hit him from behind and had the numbers and everything. Pesci ended up not being hurt too bad on the play. However, that still to me was a 5 minute major penalty. And if you considered a 2 minute major penalty, to me, if you still consider a 2 minute major, it doesn't change whether or not Pesci got hurt on that dirty hit. Okay? So with this elbowing, to me, this was a 2 minute minor penalty for elbowing because Nick Foligno came in looking to make a hit, and Fogel, he lifted his elbow up. Was it smart for him to lift the elbow up? No, he made a mistake. So he lifted his elbow up, and then it hit Nick Foligno in the head. To me, that's a 2 minute minor for elbowing. According to the NHL rules, because Nick Foligno got hurt on the play, he ended up returning to the game. I'm happy to see that. That should have been a 5 minute major. And I think that's a dumb rule because the play isn't made any dirtier when the play isn't made any dirtier, whether or not Nick Foligno got hurt or not. If Nick Foligno ended up fine on the play and basically was able to shrug it off, it's still a 2-minute minor for elbowing. If he gets injured, it's still a 2-minute minor. It's the exact same play. Whether or not a player gets hurt, to me, should not affect the way the player plays. It should be the intent and the violence of the penalty. Now I got that out of the way. I guess that's where you start. I want to get that out of the way, but let's focus on the bad. So, obviously, they fail to give up a penalty. Not a penalty. They fail to protect a lead twice in this game. It's going to happen again. And Dougie Hamilton, he's a great offensive defenseman. He's great. He's on a 13-game point streak. He's on fire. He brings so much great stuff to the game. The thing that annoys me the most about Dougie Hamilton, he has no net front presence defensively. There are so many goals that have gone in, and I look, and it's Dougie Hamilton's guy, and he's not covering him, or he's there and not quite there. I think it is a problem that generally sticks with Carolina, but for me, the one who's been doing it the most is Dougie Hamilton, and the reason I bring it up is because Carolina is having a hard time defending leads, and so that's something that needs to be worked on, because it'll cause us to give up a point again against a team that's trying to catch us. That's a problem. But Dougie Hamilton's still a great defenseman. I love having him to be part of the Canes. That's an area of his game that needs to be improved upon. I thought they got outworked a little too much this game by Columbus. Carolina is a more talented team, and Columbus, to me, Carolina outplayed them. Columbus was harder working. Just from watching the game, from what I could tell, Carolina was outplaying them. It's not like Carolina wasn't working hard, but Columbus was outworking Carolina. Obviously, you have the empty netter. I'm going to look at that. I'm going to have to relook at that again or something, but to me, that could have been a slash. And if the referees missed it, who gives a shit? You don't give up that goal that goes back the other way. You play good zone defensive hockey to not give up the goal with 23 seconds left. We're not talking about it. It's just kind of a chuckle-worthy moment. Carolina still could have played through. The referees missing a slashing on an open net. So, it could have been a slash. If it wasn't, Fogel fucked up there. Shit happens. I know it's ridiculous for a player to make it the end to miss an empty net, but I'm just saying, I'm not going to hold it against Fogel. I know there is some trashing for Fogel. I think he's getting maybe a little too much hate for this specific game, but, you take a penalty. It's clearly a penalty. You shouldn't ever lift your elbow up like that. Just take the hit, and you got to put the empty netter in. You're going to get hate for that, but I don't think it's as bad as people are making out to be, but it's not a great look for Fogel either. I'll acknowledge that. Now, who do I give Hurricane of the game to? There were a lot of players I thought were playing well. Slavin made a beautiful pass to Niederreiter to get the goal. Natchez deserves to win it this game, but to me, there was someone who deserves it more. And I haven't been giving Natchez his proper due, so I almost want to give it a tie, but I'll stick to one player. But Natchez gets an honorable mention. Aho, of course. But I got to give it to Nedeljkovic. There were many times where Carolina had defensive breakdowns, and Nedeljkovic bailed out the Hurricanes. I think Nedeljkovic is the definitive starter as someone who has been nothing but complimentary to Reimer, and I consider myself a Reimer fan. Nedeljkovic deserves the start. He's a great goalie. I think Nedeljkovic could be our defenseman of the future. So that's that. I would give it to Nedeljkovic. Now here's it's been a while since we've had a 10-minute Hurricane review, but honestly, comment down below what your guys' opinion is on on my whole mindset of penalty injuries. And Jesus, why am I drawing a blank? Oh, Jesus. If you guys like the content I'm producing on the channel, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next Hurricanes broadcast, which today is Thursday. I assume it's Saturday. I didn't look, and I don't have my phone on me. So I'll see you guys next time. I already look like a goofball, so there's nothing wrong with mixing up the day again. But I will see you guys for the next Hurricanes broadcast. And until then, I bid you adieu.